Welcome back to The Boys in the Iceberg, the podcast where we watch The Legend of Korra. As always, I am Caleb Ader.
And I'm Harley Davis.
And we got a couple of great episodes for you this week. Enemy at the Gates and The Battle for Zaofu. Okay, so we're just going to go ahead and get right on into it. Harley, would you please give us the overview from the first episode?
So the first episode we have here today is Enemy at the Gates. A little bit of overview for you. Oh my god, it's not a long overview, Caleb. Okay, so Kuvira marches her entire army to Zaofu to coerce Su Yin into surrendering the Metal City to her, not wishing to take it by force. Su Yin refuses, however, despite repeated warnings from both Kuvira and Korra, who has traveled to Zaofu with Jinora, Ikki, and Milo. Meanwhile, Varric's conscience begins to trouble him as he continues his work on Spirit Vine technology, and he briefly refuses to develop it further until Kuvira threatens to kill him. After a confrontation with Beifong clan, Bolin again begins to question Kuvira's methods, leading him to join forces with Varric and Zhu Li in an attempt to escape. They are apprehended by Batar Jr., however, and while Zhu Li pledges her loyalty to Kuvira, Bolin is sent to re-education camp. And Varric is forced to continue his experiments. Korra tries to talk Kuvira out of taking Zaofu, but Kuvira gives Korra the job of talking Su Yin into surrendering Zaofu. When she returns to talk to the matriarch, Korra learns from Batar that Su Yin and the twins have sneaked out to face Kuvira directly. I thought it was snuck.
No, it's sneaked.
Is sneaked the best?
It sounds weird, but it's grammatically correct.
I was either going to go with snuck or snacked, you know?
Well, snacked is not correct.
I think you're not correct.
Unless you're talking about someone eating snacks, which in that instance it is.
Korra,
the past tense.
The snack dad smiles back.
Hey, that was a good joke. Anyway, let's get right into the episode. Enemy at the Gates. Harley, do you even remember what this is about? Because I'm having trouble right now.
Honestly, I think we deserve a little clip show of this episode. Just
Hey,
to
shut your mouth. Okay, I got some notes here. My first note is Kuvira not as Hitlery in this episode.
She's actually very soft, and
then my second note is, Kuvira's going back to Hitler because she did not keep that persona up very long.
manipulatory.
Yeah, she seems like she's okay for like some negotiations.
That's a word, right?
She ain't manipulatory. I mean, if it's not,
it is.
it
now.
isn't. So she seems like she's open to some negotiations. Maybe she wants to, keep good faith with Zaofu, or Zaofu. I always get the name wrong. Anyway, and also she's kind of aware that the entire world is watching her and what she's going to do with Zaofu, because she's kind of got some of the international spotlight now, so she can't just do whatever.
So she kind of just waits for them to make a mistake. But I like the way, I pointed this out in this episode, how she talks to Bolin and Su Yin at their first meeting in this episode. She kind of just talks to him softly, like they're a kid. Like they need to be coerced into doing something, but almost kind of make it think like it's their idea, you know?
Yeah.
And it's real. She talks to them gently.
She's manipulatory. I mean, that's the best way to describe it. The
And when
best
her
use of words.
her and Su Yin kind of butt heads a little bit, and she then gets a little bit more aggressive verbally, and I dig it. I love it so much.
Also, while this is happening, they're mounting their attack. Varric is up to some science stuff. Don't know exactly what's going on yet, but it looks like he's attempting to harness the power of spirit vines, I guess, for energy purposes. I don't know exactly how that works.
I think he's hooked up to this. There's multiple sections of the Spirit Vine.
Yeah,
now.
he's got a whole bunch of different containers, like lining the walls, filled with these. It kind of looks almost like like an old timey tube that you would see,
You know what it reminds me
like a
of?
light bulb, kind of.
You know what it reminds me of?
What's that?
That episode of The Walking Dead where the governor is found with a wall full of zombie heads.
I don't think it's like really like that exactly.
Instead of an epidemic that can be caused by one bite, it's an explosion.
Yeah, and it does explode because they cannot harness the energy, or they can't control the energy more so. It just goes out of control anytime they send current through it.
I feel like that's any I don't know, any movie or television show with a power that is beyond them ever, humans just want to tap it. And, which is the goal, am I right?
And the plot of the Avengers.
Just to tap it. Yeah. And then they just kind of shoot themselves in the foot with said device.
Yeah, so what this boils down to, it's anti-nuclear propaganda in my eyes.
Anti what?
Nuclear.
Okay.
So that's basically what happens is it's this power they're using that they're harnessing like these natural properties, but it's very volatile. And Kuvira instantly wants to use it to make the largest weapon the world's ever seen.
Well, clearly, Kuvira has seen or has played Fallout, so she knows
she's got
to rule the world.
Power suits.
She needs to take her brain and stick it in a computer and nuke the whole world. I think those two are unrelated, but
yes,
I'll have to replay New Vegas.
No, but she's going to make this into a giant bomb. Varric is only concerned with using it for clean energy, is what he says, and she threatens his life until he's going to build this bomb.
In fact,
I think it was too dramatic. I think you could have downplayed that whole part of it. I think he would have gone along with it for much less than that.
Yeah, but he's soft, man. The more dramatic you make it, the more believable it is, I think.
At this point, Korra shows up, and she's gonna try to act as the mediator between Kuvira and Su Yin. Opal is with Korra at this point, I think, on top of the flying bison.
I thought it was Denora, Ikki, and Milo.
Well, at one point, Opal says that, or yeah, I guess you're right. So I think Milo wants to fight, and Korra's like, no, we're just going to try to do this peacefully. And she has those ideas in her head, even though we know what's going to happen. We know there's going to be a fight.
A bit of a aggressive negotiation, if you will.
A tussle.
Or a tussle.
And at this point, Kuvira has already talked to Su Yin, and she's given them 24 hours to kind of give in to their demands and submit to her, or else she's going to full-on attack them with this giant army she's brought with her.
So Su Yin's kind of just mulling that over. She's kind of just sitting in there. She's stewing on it. And then Korra goes back to Kuvira, or she goes to Kuvira, and she's like, hey, man, we got to stop this. Hey, man, we got to stop this. And she's like, okay, hey, listen, we'll stop this. You just get Su Yin to stop this.
She's like, and what she says, this kind of irks me a little bit, is she says, I won't do anything. We're going to have a truce until you go back and talk to Su Yin and then come back and talk to me. So ostensibly, Korra could have just left and never talked to Su Yin, and then Kuvira would have had to honor her truce.
Kuvira was just honored her word.
Yeah.
I like, though, how Kuvira was just waiting for Zaofu to make a mistake. Like, she knew. Like, she was playing the right cards. Even though she had an army outside of Zaofu's gates, she was playing her cards, and she was doing what's right, and she was doing it the right way, I should say. And she was waiting for them to make a mistake, because they were going to.
Yeah.
And lo and behold, Su Yin is said mistake.
Before that, Korra does talk to Su Yin, and we get a little bit of Kuvira's backstory, which we didn't get in the last season. Apparently, Kuvira was like a daughter to Su Yin almost.
Like a daughter. She wasn't actually a daughter.
She adopted her when she was 8, more or less, and kind of like trained her. And Su Yin says she saw a lot of herself in Kuvira. I don't know why we didn't see any of her last season.
Yeah, I always hate that. You remind me of myself when I was young. Like, that's overused. I hate overused cliches.
I don't know. I think that's fine.
No,
because that's a good reason to trust someone.
No, one cliche that isn't overused that's used in this episode or the next episode, I think, is "You are my greatest creation." That's not an overused trope, but
I think that seeing something or seeing part of yourself in someone else, even though it might be a cliche, I'm fine whenever it's used.
Yeah.
Because that's a good reason to trust someone, is because you think that they're like you.
But yeah, I wanted to say that if I met somebody like me, I wouldn't trust them at all. How they don't mention Kuvira at all in the last season, except for like, "Hi, I'm Kuvira" in the last episode.
The very last part of the last episode.
It's
yeah,
it's heinous.
Especially when we get to see how she sort of had a role. So directly after Korra defeated Zahir, I think Raiko and Tenzin went to see Su Yin, and said, hey, there's going to be a power vacuum in the Earth Kingdom now. So we need you to take control of it. And Kuvira wants to go and forcibly take control of Ba Sing Se and kind of instate rule from there. But Su Yin doesn't want to do that.
Well, I like that. I like that they show her backstory, but I wish they would have done it sooner. I wish they would have introduced her as a character when they introduced Zaofu.
That's what I'm saying, because now that we know that she's like the right-hand person, why didn't we see her?
Like
it doesn't make any sense.
We saw the bigwigs in that room. It was President Raiko, Tenzin, and Su Yin. Those were the bigwigs.
And Kuvira now.
And then Kuvira was just with Su Yin. And you're like, man, if she's the right hand of Su Yin, why are we just now hearing of her? Why did they wait until the last episode of the season before to introduce her with one line of, oh, I'm Kuvira? Like, just introduce your characters. That's why this episode feels, or this season, as much as I like Kuvira, this season feels just forcefully wedged into the rest of the series.
And I do like Kuvira as a character. I think that she's good. I think her voice acting is very good. More so than like someone like Korra. That kind of feels off sometimes.
Oh yeah, when I first watched it, we talked about this like the first episode.
It doesn't. Sometimes it just doesn't fit.
Janet Varney, I think she's great, but I don't think for Korra, it was off-putting when I first heard her talk. But for Kuvira, you're kind of like, yeah, that's her, and she does a really good job of, like I said, of manipulation, just through verbal, because that's all the actors have is verbal manipulation, and she does a really good job.
So Korra, when she's talking to Kuvira, she kind of this rubbed me the wrong way during the episode, because we got to see the backstory and how Su Yin and Kuvira sort of butted heads, and then Kuvira goes off on her own and basically commandeers like the guards and some of the troops that Su Yin has. But then when Korra's talking to Kuvira, Kuvira says that she was tasked to put the Earth Kingdom back together, and she was not.
Yeah, she's
completely rogue.
Yeah.
She has kind of this righteous mentality that she's doing what she needs to do and she's doing what's right, when that's all in her head. She's just making this up. Nobody asked her to do this.
Yeah, I mean, it'd be fine if she had like some sort of government support to begin with, but she's like, I'm just going to do it. I'm just going to do it. And you kind of just like, where are you? Is Varric your funding? Like, is that where you're getting this from?
Kuvira?
Yeah.
I think that she just has power now, and she's also shaking down the townships.
That's what you think? Like, it's not just like, because she had Varric in her pocket for a while.
But I don't think she necessarily... You don't really need funds when you've got power, because you can just take what you want. And I think that that's what she does. And also, the stuff that they're making is made out of metal, which they have a whole bunch of metal benders. So I feel like you wouldn't really need all that much money.
There's just a sudden outpour of metal like in the world.
Well, because they can...
I dig it.
They can pretty much create it, right? You think? Can they pull
create metal?
Well, they can pull out of the ground.
More easily discover metal deposits and create metal things because they have metal benders.
Do you think they have to refine it, or they can just do it by themselves with metal bending?
I think they can just metal bend it. Honestly,
yeah, that's what I'd say. So I think that they can just like pull it out of the ground. One thing we haven't mentioned yet is there is sort of a sub story in this one.
Oh,
we get more of Asami, who was absent in the last episode.
Which I don't
care about it.
Don't care about it. Yeah,
because they don't do it enough. She goes to see her father in prison,
who looks drastically different than he did when we last saw him.
Still sounds like Daniel Dakim,
because I think he was a little chubbier.
Before. Oh yeah, he's definitely lost weight,
and he did not have gray hair at all.
Well, he had white hair. Like his hair was like completely white now.
Yeah, well,
I think it was like sort of a grayish black before.
I think before it was darker. It was a lot darker.
He had the Mr. Fantastic going on.
I'm digging the do. I just watched the movie the other day.
Oh really?
I don't know people dog on it.
We don't need to talk about it.
We do. 2002, 2001. 2001's Fantastic Four.
Was it, probably that sounds about right.
Ian Grufford. Is his first name Ian?
I think it's Ian, but it's spelled real weird.
It's spelled like IOAN.
Yeah.
Because every time I look at it, it looks like somebody wrote the word loan.
Yeah, it's
and
real
I'm like,
dumb.
No. But anyways.
Yeah, we're not talking about that. So Asami's talking to her father, and he does the whole thing like, you were my greatest creation, trying to get back in her good graces.
Because the thing was, he sent her a letter. The reason why she's there we don't know why we're watching this, but the reason why she's there is he had been sending her letters, and just like in the Notebook, her mother had been taking them and keeping them from her, and now she's upset, and
she goes there to tell him, "Hey, stop sending me letters."
Yeah, that's actually what happens. And he's like, "Listen, I just need to say one thing," and he says that you are my greatest creation line, which I don't know. It's it's fine, I guess. But then that's the end of that.
And then that turns Asami's heart around, though.
Then she comes back again.
As we see in a later flashback, when she wants to play Pai Sho with him.
Pai Sho.
Which, and he says something that kind of irked me. This episode, I liked it.
A lot of irking going on.
But yeah, I'm kind of like just small things, just like, He says that he ruined the family name and like betrayed her or whatever. He didn't ruin the family name.
I think at first he did. Because remember, they went down because he was bad.
No, but ruin is like, it's completely bad now.
You'll never get a job anywhere in this town.
You're ruined.
Anywhere.
Yeah, so
you're ruined.
So he says that, and he has not ruined the name. Asami has this giant like government contract now, and she's like rebuilding Republic City. So I think the name's fine.
I wonder if she told him that. She's like, no, actually, I fixed the name. You're an idiot still. Let's play Pai Sho.
Yeah,
you convict.
And see, I just don't. I don't care that Asami gets to play Pai Sho with her father.
I don't care about any of the.
It had nothing to do with anything.
It didn't. It didn't feel like we needed it. We didn't address it before. We didn't need it now, unless it pays off some other way. I have no idea. But so far in this episode, the next episode, and the next two episodes afterwards, it is no correlation whatsoever.
No. There is a little bit of it, a little bit later, but we won't get into that quite yet. There's also another part of the story that actually is a pretty big part of it. Bolin and Varric are both kind of like, they're not Bolin's not really against Kuvira right now, but he understands that she's not all she's cracked up to be. There's more, that she's kind of going crazy, basicher. And so they plot to escape.
Well, there's kind of a little bit of when she goes to confront Su Yin with her gang, her Batar Jr., and then Opal and Su Yin and some other people are talking to her. It's really cool because you see Bolin, he's right smack dab in the middle of it. And I like that visual representation of where he's at mentally. Like, hey, people keep telling him that Kuvira is not all she's cracked up to be, and he's on he wants to be with Opal, and that's Su Yin's team. And so he's kind of like, hey, I don't know where I should be. I kind of see what Kuvira's doing, but then again, I kind of don't want to lose my friends, you know?
Yeah.
And it's a good visual representation of the scene where he's standing right in between both people, and I like it a lot.
I think he even winds up on the side of Zaofu at the very end. Which could be because he's over there.
Foreshadowing, perhaps.
So. Yeah, maybe.
Maybe he turned to... He does in this episode.
So they escape the train, and then Batar Jr., he's like, who do I have to go fight? Or he says something to that effect. Let's go catch some traitors. And then they go out in the mech suits, and they have a big mech battle.
Then we have a big CGI fest.
Which I liked it. I think that it worked well. I don't think the CGI was like completely noticeable.
As eye gouging as the movie
Atlantis.
It's not as eye gouging as really. You thought Atlantis was bad?
Some of the ship parts.
Really?
Yep.
Huh. Okay.
I like the movie,
but
don't get me wrong.
As eye gouging as like the beginning of the series was when they showed the blimps.
Oh yeah,
some of those were just glaringly terrible, and I was like, because it didn't transition well. It didn't fade in well with the regular, like, it's not just 2D animation.
Yeah, the cell.
It's not cell, though.
Yeah, it's basically, though. It's that style.
Like, you can't call the style they used in the Lego movie stop motion, because it's animation still.
It's basically stop motion.
But it's stop motion animation style.
Yeah.
Or stop motion style. It's
I
weird.
think it counts.
Like, so this is like cell animation style, but it's not cell animation.
It might be cell animation.
You think they sell this entire show?
They do a lot of that, a lot more than
I think they do less than you think.
Yeah, but they do quite a lot more than you think. So we'll meet in the middle somewhere. So after that, they get captured. Bolin, Varric, and Zuli get captured, and guess what? Zuli is a traitor.
The turncoat.
She jumps over to the other side as soon as they're threatening to put him in jail. She has no loyalty.
Mutinous.
She says that my only mistake was putting my loyalty in the wrong person.
And then she falls in love with Kuvira.
Yes.
Basically, I mean, she's all for Kuvira
What
right
we've
now.
seen so far.
You think that's going to pay off later?
I don't know.
She's going to do weird things later?
I don't know.
You think
But,
Julie's
for right
story
now,
is
all
done?
we know that she's betrayed them.
Yep.
And how does this episode end, Harley?
This isn't the episode where Korra and Kuvira fight?
No, that's the next episode. This episode ends with Korra returning to Su Yin to relay Kuvira's message, but it turns out Kuvira's gone. Not Kuvira. Su Yin's gone.
I got you, dog.
Yeah.
Su Yin is now leading a little team of metalbenders to attack Kuvira. And
That's the end of the episode.
is the end of this episode?
It is. So let's do a little bit of trivia, Harley. You ready for some trivia?
Right in.
Kuvira's desire to share Zaofu's advancements with the Earth Kingdom mirrors Fire Lord Sozin's desire to share the Fire Nation's wealth with the world in the Avatar and the Fire World. Though Kuvira's actions were initially backed up by the world leaders. I don't see the same. I don't see it the same.
I see similarities.
Yeah, but I kind of think that Kuvira is she's more focused on just getting the Fire Nation or the Earth Kingdom back together.
That's true, but I think the way she worded it and the way Su Yin was adamantly against it was similar in
Yeah, I get a little bit.
aspect.
I can see it. This is the first episode in which Bolin did appear, but Mako did not. We don't get any Mako in this episode, which is fine.
This is kind of the trivia that I want to get into. Where is Mako? What's he doing?
I don't know.
Is he
He's
back on
dead.
the beat?
A scene of Kuvira using metal bending to perform target practice was cut from the final storyboard. Okay, I don't care about that.
I wonder
I don't care. What do you mean?
if that would have added any more.
It wouldn't have
to
added
the
anything.
show.
I don't think so.
I wonder why they cut it then.
I don't know. For time? Hey,
most
speaking
likely.
of cutting for time, that's all the time we've got for this first episode. Let's take a break and then get right back to it. And we're back. Hey, Harley, do you got the second episode overview for us there?
Su Yin's attempt to assassinate Kuvira under the darkness cover fails. That's basically it. I'm not gonna get into this whole. I had to scroll down
Is it really?
very.
Is that
long.
it?
It's so long. I'm not reading all that.
Oh, I guess we don't need to then.
No.
I mean, if you just don't want to be like a good
There's
steward
a big
of our
scuffle
time
between Kuvira and Korra. Zaofu is kind of on edge, and Kuvira or Bolin and Varric are on the lam, and they run into some weird people. And then Korra is kind of getting her butt kicked. And then Opal and Janora are involved in the fight. And that's basically it.
Okay, yeah. So this episode starts right off with Su Yin in a ninja outfit with two other people, and they're like going into the camp because supposedly Kuvira's not there, so they're going to go in, or no, she's asleep. They're going to go in and take out Kuvira, cut the head off the snake, as it were, and they do the. Su Yin does the thing again where she uses the earthbending to like see, kind of like Toph, and I really wish they would have kept with the theme where you had to have bare feet to do that.
Yeah, because watching Lin Beifong do it way back when in episode or season like 2,
And she had that was really cool.
Like the sole of her foot or shoe retracted. That was dope.
Yeah, that was really cool, and they got away with that, or they just did away with it.
They got lazy with it.
Yeah, they don't need to do it anymore, which I don't like. I wish that they would have kept that throughout the whole thing because it was pretty cool. And so they come upon Kuvira. She's asleep, and they're gonna kill her in her sleep. They're gonna slit her throat before she can even say a word. And they wrap her up and get ready to do it. Turns out, not Kuvira, it's Zhu Li, which probably should have seen coming. Kuvira's not that big of an idiot.
Also, the last episode spent like 3 solid seconds on the very last panel zooming in on Zhu Li's face. So menacingly, I might add, menacingly.
It was pretty menacing.
It was. But this actually kind of reminded me of, this is so stupid, reminded me of Spider-Man 2 when Harry had
Sally.
thank you. When Harry had Peter or Spider-Man all wrapped up and then unveiled him to be Peter. And it wasn't the person he expected.
Uh-huh.
And for these guys, it wasn't the person they expected. And they're like, she's like,
really.
oh, don't kill me. And then they realize it's a trap. And then Kuvira comes in and snags him up and says, hey, listen, you didn't stick to the agreement. You disobeyed our peace arrangement. Now you're going to pay the consequences.
Which, okay, in fairness, The peace arrangement was never agreed to by Su Yin because Korra had not gotten back to talk to her yet.
But in Kuvira's defense, even though Kuvira's manipulating everybody, she didn't know that Korra hadn't been there, but she could have assumed.
No, she couldn't have assumed. Why could she have assumed?
Because she's always one step ahead, man.
You need verbal confirmation, I think. You need to send a messenger back and say, hey, we've agreed now. Let's
send a
work this out.
messenger to find the messenger.
Yeah.
To send more messages.
No, you send a messenger to Kuvira.
And then shoot the messenger.
No, you don't shoot the messenger. And another thing that is kind of weird, because Korra goes back and talks to everybody else, and she's like, hey, Su, we can't really do anything because Su Yin attacked Kuvira without provocation. Even though, in Su Yin's mind, Kuvira had threatened to destroy them in 24 hours if they hadn't, or if they didn't agree to them. So I don't think that's without provocation.
Kuvira's making waves.
Yeah, and Kuvira's kind of like manipulating Korra a little bit too.
Yeah, and then this is when they cut into the trial by combat thing or whatever.
Yeah, so Korra goes back and is like, hey, let's sell this mano a mano, and we're just going to fight right now, and whoever wins.
And then you see the guy yell, "Boy, Grios!" And
First of all, that was too loud. Second of all, what?
And then Korra walks out, and then you hear Batar Jr. go, "Achilles!" And then Kuvira comes out and stabs Korra in the shoulder, and it's over. And that's the end of it.
Now, are we talking like Troy or something? Is that what this is?
Yeah.
Okay. Never seen that movie? Don't care to.
It's good.
Okay, so Korra fights bad. That's all I got to say about that. She's bad at fighting. I don't like how she's fighting.
Oh, bat. I thought you said bat.
Oh, yes, she fights bat. Because that makes sense,
I was
Harley.
like, what are you doing? What?
No, Korra fights really, really badly. I brought this up during the episode. I hate how she does, and I don't think she's done it in any other like real fight except for this one. Every element she uses is interchangeable.
And now, do you think this is just because she's off her game?
It might be, but she's just fighting like pro bending with every element.
That's what I was going to say. She's kind of back to the basics of her altogether fighting with the pro bending thing.
It's like an extension of punches, which is the dumbest thing for elements because
punch left rock, punch right air.
Punch
both.
I don't get why the
Fire.
Avatar, why they haven't figured out, hey, if you're fighting an earthbender, maybe you don't want to use earthbending.
Yeah, don't use their native.
That's so dumb.
Don't
use any of the other ones.
Don't speak in their native tongue.
Yeah,
Come on
really.
now.
Because Kuvira is a much better earthbender than Korra is,
And
especially now.
She's more precise and more, in my opinion, more agile and a better fighter altogether.
I think that's just because Korra's off her game.
I don't think Korra's a better fighter than Kuvira.
I think that she was.
I think if they were just to go Earth v Earth, I think Kuvira would take her.
Well, that's not the point now, is it?
No, I get it. But with her using all of her elements except for water, because there's no water around, and she's not cool enough to use her sweat or blood. That'd be
She
cool.
could probably use her sweat.
She just blood bends Kuvira. She's like,
Yeah.
listen, I own you now.
Well, she needs a full moon.
Unless you're Tone Rock.
Yeah, or Amon, or whatever his real name was.
Was it Tone Rock?
Tone Rock is
Rock's
Korra's father.
Korra's father.
Unalak is, or no, Tarlok.
Tarlok, dude.
Tarlok, that's
with
the
these
one.
water tribe
There's so
names,
many,
man.
there's so many names that are
Can't
so
even
similar.
reference the first season without messing it up.
But Korra's kind of getting her butt kicked by Kuvira. Like, it's not even really that close.
She's really getting her butt kicked.
Yeah.
Actually, she's on the ropes, man.
And Milo, Janora, and Ikki and Opal, I think at that point, are all yelling her, go into the Avatar state. Just go into the Avatar state. Which she eventually does, because she has no other choice at that point.
I think actually... Okay, yeah, no, because we forgot that it's the twins. Su Yin's twins, and then Su Yin are in these weird like metal containment suits, and they're watching the whole fight go down, and they're surrounded by Kuvira's army. And then, actually, I don't think Milo's there. I don't think he is.
He's not out there.
Because Opal and Janora are doing stupid things. And then Janora, okay. And then Korra's getting her butt kicked by Kuvira, and Kuvira is winning, obviously, hence the butt kicking. And Janora and Opal feel like they need to get involved, and since that wasn't the part of the agreement, then they do get involved, and they attack Kuvira, because Kuvira's about to slice Korra's head off.
Korra goes into the Avatar. We didn't talk about that yet.
I thought you covered that.
Yeah, Korra goes into the Avatar state, and she seems like she's going to take upper hand in the fight, but then when she goes to drop a rock on Kuvira, Kuvira turns around, and her face is now Korra's face in the Avatar state.
Okay,
so
yeah,
Korra's not over her sickness or whatever it is yet.
Korra's still soft.
Yeah, she's still out of it in more ways than one.
And that's when she gets the drop on Korra, and then Jinora and Opal jump in real quick because Kuvira has Korra trapped in rock, kind of like they did with the
with everyone
Fire Lord.
that Aang ever trapped.
Ever since the Fire Lord thing happened, and then she almost goes to cut her head off, and then Jinora and Opal like, hey, I'm not having that, and they use everybody to knock her back, and then they create a giant tunnel after Kuvira says, hey, listen, y'all didn't follow my orders or our agreement, so my army attack these guys. And so they create a giant tornado, and they start blowing everybody back. And then Jinora has to zone into her spirit nonsense, and that's when Milo, I think, it's notified because they're
Jinora goes back and talks to them. It's
Yeah.
like, hey, we need some help out here now.
Yo, we dying, dog.
So I think that for right now, that's all we get with Korra. But we do get Bolin and Varric a little bit more of their stuff now because they're now captured after that turncoat Zhu Li turned him over. And I guess Bolin's supposed to go to a re-education camp, which is very reminiscent of the Dai Li brainwashing people. And then Varric is going to be the scientist that he's gonna go ahead and get the bombs ready to go.
But instead, they get entrapped by the Ewoks, and then
well, no, Harley, that's Star Wars.
Oh, sorry. Then they get trapped by the Ewoks, and they talk.
Hey,
they
Harley,
talk. What?
That's still Star Wars. There's no Ewoks in Korra.
Oh,
I don't know what you're thinking. I know you're thinking of Star Wars. I don't know how that's getting crossed in your head.
Then they get trapped by an Ewok trap, and
well, see, I'm going to have to stop you there. You still said Ewok, which leads me to believe that you're still talking about Star Wars and not Korra.
Do you want to start over then?
Yeah, just go ahead and take it from the top.
Long ago, the four nations lived together in harmony. Then everything changed when the Fire Nation attacked.
Wait, hold on. No.
Is that too topish?
Yeah, no, you went all the way back.
You said to the top.
We remember that other podcast that we did where we talked about Avatar: The Last Airbender?
Yeah, that was the top.
We already did that, though.
You didn't want me to go that top.
No, we don't need to go all the way back there.
You want me to go like middle top, like Korra top?
No, like maybe just like the thought that you were trying to say before.
Oh, the top of the top of my thought.
Yeah, just like
that top. I'm with you.
You know,
okay.
like maybe 20 seconds
There's
ago.
a lot of tops spinning around and stuff, and I'm not getting it.
I mean, semantics. You just want to go. Let's just get
I
back into that.
think I was discussing something about Bolin and Varric.
Oh yes, because Bolin and Varric are now on the train. They're being carted off, but Varric is being tasked to create a weapon that he does not want to make, and he needs an assistant to do that. And who do you think is going to be his assistant?
Well, the trusty old Nuktuk.
Oh, Bolin.
Which is Bolin. They're interchangeable.
That's a character. So through some idiotic turn of events, they allow Bolin to be Varric's assistant, which, okay, all you bad guys out there, I want you to listen up, okay? Bad guys in TV shows and movies, don't let someone have their ally as an assistant.
Don't let them have their cake and eat it too.
No, and you see what happens, even in Iron Man, they let, what's his name, Yinsen be...
Yinsen? No, Yinsen is the wizard from
yeah, no, it's Yinsen,
Disney.
I know. They let him be Tony Stark's sidekick, even after they kind of have an inkling that Tony Stark might be up to something nefarious. Just go ahead and kill him, because nothing good's going to come out of that.
Yeah, why did they do that?
I don't know. It's just to further the plot along.
It is a weird thing.
Yeah, but don't do that, bad guys. Okay, we can just talk about that. I'm trying to help you here. It always ends badly.
Just be better at being bad.
And this one ends just as badly because Varric does create the bomb. He creates exactly what they want. Only he puts it on a timer and then sets it off.
Which is funny. We get this funny little commentation from Batar Jr. He's like, so you're doing this and then that, and you're connecting this to that, and then you have this rod over here, and what's this? And then you hear clicking, and he goes, well, and Varric goes, well, that's a timer. And he goes, for what? And he goes, for the bomb I just made.
The poison you just drank, Dr. Jones.
Thank you for that
Temple of Doom reference.
Thank you,
everyone.
Freaking nerd.
Yeah, so he sets the timer off. And he's like, we got 5 minutes. You guys probably want to live.
60 seconds.
I don't really want to live anymore.
That's
don't
all the time in the world.
You said that during the episode. I didn't like it then. I don't like it now. I'm just going to tell you.
Anytime a timer brought up, I will say it.
So he says that we got 5 minutes. I don't really care if I live or not, but you guys probably have like lives that you want to get back to. So you might want to get off here before this bomb goes off.
He says me and Bolin are ready to go down with the ship.
Yeah, Bolin's not, by the way.
Bolin's not against it. He's totally against it. And so they all like, hey, you're bluffing. And he's like, no, I'm not bluffing, and I'll show you. And he pulls out a remote.
Well, no, because Batar Jr. is like, hey, we're just going to take you with us. Like, we're just going to take you away from the bomb. And Varric's like, well, I thought about that, and so now I got this remote that I'm just going to blow it up if you try to do that. So which kind of makes the timer obsolete at this point. But Batar Jr. ends up getting off or they separate the train, or the car on the train, letting Bolin and Vaatu.
They do the thing.
That's Varric, like, go away, and then the bomb blows up, and Bolin and Varric are incinerated.
Coincidentally, they're not incinerated, though.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I forgot.
Yeah, they lava bend their way to safety.
I think it was just Earth.
It'd be so funny if he just forgot how to Earth bend. And
he's only a lava bender now.
Bends and they just die. That's the end of him. Oh, God. Classic Bolin.
Yeah, so they end up escaping. Now they're off in the woods or something like that.
Over the river and through the woods.
To grandmother's house we go. We don't need to continue that. I saw you over there. You were ready to say the next line, and I'm going to just say right now, let's not do that.
Roger that. Moving on.
And I think at the end of this episode, did they walk into a little trap?
Kind of like a trap, Nope,
they don't. That's the next episode. I'm just gonna move on from that. So this episode ends with Janora going and like spiriting over to Milo.
Spiriting away.
Yes. Thank you. And they go over to Milo and Ikki, who come to save the day because they attack Kuvira as she's going to kill Korra. And Kuvira's like, hey, you weren't supposed to do that. Now my giant army behind me, see them? They're all back there. They're going to attack Zaofu now. So, I mean, probably shouldn't have hit me.
And then this is when they take Zaofu, isn't it? Zaofu?
Yes, it is, because Janora and Opal create like a cyclone thing.
Yeah.
Which
I talked about earlier.
They shouldn't be that powerful.
I talked about that earlier. So we'll skip everything you're trying to say, which I said earlier.
I mean, we're not going to skip. I'm just going to...
No, we will. It's fine.
I'm just going to talk about it a little bit.
And then Zaofu gets taken by the army, and then we get that scene from Avengers where Loki says, there are no men like me. But then Batar stands up and says, there are always men like you. And then they take Batar and the other guy.
So first of all, none of that happened.
Sorry.
That Batar does talk to his father, which I don't know why Batar is so mad at his father.
It's Batar and Batar Jr.
I understand that.
Well,
but he's just going by Batar now. He dropped the junior. But his father pulls Sean Connery from The Last Crusade and calls him just Junior. Kind of makes him mad.
That's for blasphemy. I'm a terrible Sean Connery, man.
You just you got too much of too many marbles in your mouth.
I do. God, yeah.
Okay, so that's the end of the episode, right?
Zaofu's been taken. Korra is on the lam.
Everything looks lost, but it's probably not. Korra's probably going to end up winning.
Also sort of organized, since Kuvira now has everything under her control.
Oh, no.
Hitler's on the rise.
Yeah, great. Also...
Just like history wanted.
This is the very end of the episode. Kuvira goes up to Zhu Li and is like, hey, want to build a bomb?
And what does Julie do?
Julie says, yeah, okay, I'll build a bomb for you.
Yeah, right,
because she's been working with why do I want to keep saying Varric. And so
she should know some things.
She might know a little bit.
This is okay. Little side tangent. I did it's callback to last week's episode. Remember
you listened to it?
I did.
Nice.
Remember when we discussed Fantastic Four? Fanforstic?
I remember when we discussed Fantastic Four in this episode, so you could be talking about any one of our episodes because it always comes up.
Well, in this episode, we talked about Fantastic Four.
We're talking about
in the last episode, we talked about Fanforstic.
2015?
Something. Is it really
that
old?
When it came out? I think so.
Anyways,
it was probably 2016.
We liked the first half of that movie. I had bits of problems with it.
A little bit?
Just like this. Okay, they do it right in this show, in Korra, because Julie is the assistant to Varric, the genius, just like Ben Grimm was the assistant to Reed Richards.
Yeah, and they actually show how it comes to be, why she betrays him.
Yeah. In Van Forstic, they don't do that.
They skip
They kind
a
of
whole
just
year.
yeah. There's actually multiple time guards in that movie. I forgot that they go all the way back to his childhood in the beginning of the movie.
That's fine.
That's fine too. You're not wrong.
Yeah, that you gotta have that. You gotta have that. It's an origin story.
But anyways, I rewatched just that part, and as soon as Reed left the facility, I paused it.
Nice.
And I didn't watch the rest of it. So to me,
Does it hold up?
Van Forstic is still a decent movie.
There we go.
Beginning.
Okay, so I also have a thought about Zhu Li in this episode. I think that she is a double agent. I don't think Varric knows it, though. I think that Varric thinks that she has betrayed him, but I think that she is still on Varric's side.
Okay, so you think she's just playing Kuvira then?
Yes,
But
also Varric.
Varric doesn't know it, though. You think that's because of that one little moment they had on the train?
No, I don't think so.
You think she's
Yeah,
kinda,
they almost made out on the train.
she's kind of
last
like,
episode.
hey, I've always had feelings for Varric.
I'm pretty sure that's how
This is
their
gonna-
arc is going to end at the
This
end of
is
this
going to
season.
teach him to take me for granted.
To not take me for granted.
That's what I said.
Okay. I think that that's how this is going to end. Varric, Zhu Li are going to get together because Zhu Li's been playing Kuvira and kind of Varric because he doesn't know. But I feel like that is how we're going to see things go.
And then their credits will roll, and we'll play some sappy train song in the background.
No. Hey, trivia, right? The banners adorning Zaofu following its fall to the Earth Empire read, "May Kuvira live for 10,000 years."
That's way too many years.
Yeah, that's a lot of years, isn't it? That's like as many years as Vatu. Is that, I mean, a little, maybe.
You think Vatu's still kicking?
I think so.
Rava's still kicking, as we think.
Well, she'd have to be, right? Or do we know? Is that how the Avatar or
I don't
the
think
Avatar
it's
state
been
works?
established.
I don't know. We still don't know if Korra can commune with her past selves yet.
We have no clue.
Varric stating that Zhu Li's name would become synonymous with betrayal is similar to how the names of Ephialtes, Quisling, and Judas became synonymous with traitor in many languages and cultures.
Judas.
So first of all,
Judas is the easiest to say of those.
Ephialtes, I have never heard that before.
I can't see it, so I can't tell you how to pronounce it correctly.
Quisling, I did not know that was a name. I thought that Quisling was a verb.
I thought Quisling was like a trivia website for middle schoolers.
This is the second time seismic sense is used while wearing footwear. The first time was in The Terror Within by Lynn.
And there should be a continuation of that trivia fact. Boys in the Iceberg still hate that.
Yeah. Can we edit this? Can we become moderators on this site?
Put a little asterisk sign and see at the bottom.
So that was a solid 3 pieces of trivia. And actually, they didn't recall Avatar: The Last Airbender.
So it was a solid 3 pieces of trivia.
That's actually a solid 3
trois.
pieces of trivia.
Yeah.
One was more the one about Ephialtes, Quisling, and Judas. That's more of just like real life trivia. But, it's fine.
I'll take it. I dig it.
So I think that's going to wrap it up for us, right? Is that it? You have
for
anything?
me.
You have anything else you want to get off your chest, Harley?
That is it for me.
Okay. If you guys have anything you want to get off your chest, you can email us with boysintheiceberg@gmail.com, or you can go check us out on Twitter @boysintheberg. As always, I've been Caleb Bader.
And I'm Harley Davis.
And we are the Boys in the Iceberg. And we'll see you here next week.
Bye.